Hello YouTube, welcome back to A Chapter with Shelby. Today we have an exciting video, one because I've never done this video before, and second, we have mail. Okay, we have happy mail. We are doing a book unboxing from Amazon, and I'm super excited about the books that I got. I didn't get a ton, it's not like a huge haul, but it is worth making a video over. And so I'm going to unbox these. The boxes are not open yet at all. Obviously, I know what I ordered, but the boxes themselves are not open, so we will be opening them together, and then I will go through what I bought and a little bit about those books. And yeah, I am excited for some fresh reads and just ignore my unread TBR behind me because I know they're giving me judgmental looks. Best life, best life, best life. All right, so one of these boxes has a hair product in them, and I'm not sure which one it is. But we're going to open this one first. All right, who is the first? Oh, there's two. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go through what the titles are, and then I will go back and describe what the books entail, why I bought them. I don't think any of these are necessarily new releases, but they're books that have been on my want to read list for a hot minute, and I'm almost done with Kindred's Curse series, reading the last book. I'm pretty sure this is the last book before the next one comes out next year. So I'm happy to have some new books to read. So the first book in the unboxing is A Court This Cruel and Lovely. I have been wanting to read this. I've heard some good things about it. I think sometimes some books can sound really good or sound like other books that we love so much. And they are just kind of like knockoff versions. Like, we know how that goes. But I've heard good things about this. Anything that says a court, I just kind of assume, like I said, it's just trying to be a cheap version of the books that we love so much, the ACOTAR series. But I haven't gotten this vibe from the reviews that I've read. So, and I'm actually not sure when this came out. In retrospect to ACOTAR, I know, I think the first book of A Court of Thorns and Roses came out quite some time ago before it got popular. So I don't know. I'm excited about this. I'll read a little bit more about it after we finish our openings. Second book in that box was Blood of Hercules. This took me a minute to decide if I even wanted to buy it because I was torn. I probably should have just read it on my Kindle just in case. But the reviews were very mixed. So the reviews on Goodreads were from 3 years ago. The reviews on Amazon were maybe 3 months ago, and they were good. The reviews on Amazon were much better than the reviews on Goodreads. But so ultimately what made me decide to buy this was that the reviews on Amazon, the most recent reviews, were good ones. So I am excited about this. I think you will be too if we have similar book tastes. So again, I'll read and explain what this is shortly. On to our second box, which does not have the hair product in it, I'm pretty sure. All right, so this book I'm excited about. I think after I finish A Kindred's Curse, I think I'm on the third book, maybe the second, actually. I might just be on the second. Yeah. Anyway, after I finish the second book to Kindred's Curse, I think this is my next read because it's either getting a show adaptation or a movie adaptation, and it's supposed to be so good, and the reviews were great. It's called A Shield of Sparrows. I'm pretty sure this has romantasy in it, if it's not the whole premise of it. But I honestly didn't read a lot about what it is about. I just know it was good enough to get some sort of adaptation, TV show or movie. And okay, I'm listening to the audiobook of Quicksilver because I did try to read it, the physical copy, and just did not like it. But then it just kept popping up, and people said it was good in the review. It has so many reviews, and So I decided to listen to the audiobook and I'm enjoying it much better. And so I think Quicksilver and this book, Shield of Sparrows, will probably wrap up November, if not the entirety of 2025. I know it's only 2 books, but just considering the holidays, I'm not quite sure. I don't know, maybe I'm underestimating myself because I do read a lot during the holidays, especially when we travel. So we'll see, but this is definitely like a soon read for me. So apparently the hair product has not come yet, which is stupid because it is already running late anyways. I thought it was going to come with the book haul, but apparently not. I'm glad this book, oh my gosh, my dog's toy. I'm glad this book was the last to be revealed because I have, oh my gosh, Beans, go away. I have talked about reading this series. It's the Crown of Nyaxia novel. This is the third one. It is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. So again, this is book 3. I loved book 1. It's like book 1 could be a standalone for me. It does leave on a cliffhanger, but it could have been standalone. I loved it and really was debating if I wanted to continue the series. Like I said, it did leave on quite a cliffhanger, and like the type of cliffhanger where you have no idea like what is going to happen to the main character. So I figured I would read the second, and I did like it. It just, if you've read it, I don't want to like give anything away, but if you've read it, we might share the same frustrations. But anyway, so I read the second and then again was questioning whether I was going to read the third. But I saw that I think the fourth is going to come out soon. And that I think it's the last book of the series. And so I'm like already halfway to finishing this whole series. And so I thought, why not? So here are the 4 books that I bought for my little mini Amazon haul. Ideally, I would love to finish all of these by the end of the year, but is that realistic? Probably not. Is that Delulu? Absolutely. But even if I don't, this is a great stack to begin 2026 with. Between some of these books and then some audio books from Audible I think will just set me up great because I normally read and finish half of my reading challenge on Goodreads at the beginning of the year. I take a long break in the summer just because being busy, and then like I deliver our baby in March. And so I just don't know like what next year's going to look like for me. Probably mostly audiobooks, which I hear a lot of mamas like do that because it's, who has time to read when they're doing all the baby things and in their mom bubbles and everything. So who knows what next year will look like for me in terms of like the reading challenge. But I think at the beginning of the year, as I go into my 3rd trimester, that I'll just get a lot of reading done and then set myself up well for the fall, which is fall of next year, which is when I read a lot of books. So let's unpack Carissa Broadbent's book, not unpack it, but I'll give you some details about this book. And again, The Songbird and the Heart of Stone is what is on our TBR. So this book is the 3rd book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. And the author recently released 2 mini books in this series. I don't know if it has to do with the same characters. I'm not quite sure about that, but there are right now 4 main books, and I think the 4th is not yet released, but 4 main books that will be in this series covering these characters. If you haven't read this series, you can expect vampires and lots of underworld vibes and very high stakes. The difference with this book, though, is that, and I'm just now realizing this as I read the back, this follows a different character. Is this actually the 3rd book, though? Wait. Wow. So hold on a second. If you were laughing or knew I was wrong the whole time. Okay. So I made a mistake. I did not buy the right book, or I didn't buy the book I thought I was buying. This is the 1st book of the Shadowborn duet, which I just talked about, not the 3rd book in series that I was reading. With that being said, the Songbird in the Heart of Stone follows Mish. I actually don't even know how you say her name, Miche. I just say Mish. Follows her, and this is still a romantasy. It's still action packed. It still has to do with the underworld and vampires and things like that. I actually have no idea what this book is about now that I know that I didn't order the book I thought I was ordering. This is an enemies to lovers book. It has a lot of, from what I've read, betrayal, trauma, and redemption. It's high fantasy with dark undertones. So it's very similar to the series that I was reading before. It's still in the same world. Like Mish or Miche is the male main character's best friend from the original series. So we see a lot of her in the other series. And this is just her story. And it's still, like I said, romantasy. I do want to read this. Like, I remember wanting to read it. I just didn't want to read it right now. But since I bought it, and I only give myself like a physical book budget, like not often, because I do have a Kindle. I do try to save money. And then we're running out of space, especially with like creating a nursery and things like that. And so I'm just trying to be mindful of like my actual physical library that I have, you know, being built. So yeah, that's interesting. So what the back says, it says, in the descent to the underworld, a bride of the sun must choose between the light of her redemption and a dark love that defies the gods themselves, a grumpy sunshine romance with more than a hint of spice and thoughtful explorations of deep emotional wounds. So if you like A Court of Thorns and Roses and you like vampires, high stakes, and romantasy with a bite, this series, I guess this duet plus the series, the original series, is perfect for you. Mish is a really awesome character. I loved her when as I was reading the first and second book of the Crown of Nyxia series. Definitely an awesome character, and I can see how this will definitely be a Grumpy Sunshine type book. Just because I don't know anything about the lover that they reference. I don't think is in the first, like the beginning of the series, so I'm not sure like how they meet, and I wish I could remember even how the second book ends, but I don't think it really has anything to do with her at all. So the next book is Shield of Sparrows. Again, very excited for this book. I have not read any books from this author. I don't know if this is their debut book, not quite sure. So what I've read and come to understand is that this might be a standalone romantasy, or it could be the start of a series, and we're not quite sure. This has a mix of court intrigue, enemies to lovers, and divine magic about a princess who, I'm reading my notes here, who always has been told to kneel, obey, and play her rule. Everything changes when a monster hunter and prince shows up and turns her world upside down. And that alone makes me really excited that there's going to be some kind of adaptation to this book. The world building of this book says 5 kingdoms ruled by fear of the gods and monster. Or wait, the world building of this book says 5 kingdoms ruled by fear of the gods, monsters, ancient treaties, curses, and divine punishment, heavy mythological vibes, a beautiful mix of high fantasy landscapes and political tension. I've read that readers love this book because of the adventure and the romance. The author is great at emotional writing, and there is apparently incredible chemistry between the characters, which we love. It also says this book is great for fans of Fourth Wing and The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which is the first book of Crowns of Nyaxia. The Serpent and the Wings of Night is, again, the first book I was talking about that I really enjoyed, really loved it, kind of wish it was like standalone, but it's the beginning of that series. And so again, love that book so much. Love Fourth Wing, of course, and apparently this is for lovers of both those things. Next, The Blood of Hercules is book 1 of the Villains of Lore series. The setting is a post-apocalyptic world where I think Titans and mortals live together. The themes in this book include identity and heritage, brutality and survival, romance and power dynamics, and mythology with a modern twist. The concept is myth, dystopia, and romance. It also says to beware. I don't think there's actual trigger. Oh, yep, there's trigger warnings. This is a dark romance and darker, or wait, this is a story of dark romance and darker obsession. Please note that it contains themes that might be triggering to some readers, including violence, depictions of murder, stalking, suicidal thoughts, etc. And I'm going to continue on anyway. It does say that, again, it's dark and there's lots of violence and trauma, which honestly, with books about mythology or connected to mythology, like we can kind of expect that because usually mythology is quite brutal. If you've read this book, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. This is not a book I'm going to start very soon. Again, I have some other priorities that I would like to finish, but I am excited. I love mythology. I love books that have like that taste of mythological world building and characters. Most of the time when we talk about books that have mythology themes in them, we're talking about Persephone and Hades, which we love. Like we love them, but it can be really overdone. And I know there's another book that has to do with Hercules, or says it in the title. And so it's like, who else can we draw inspiration from? But again, this was published. Whoa, there's art in the front. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's I like. Okay, I love when books have that. So this was published last year in 2024. So maybe it's a new take on things. We don't know. But yeah, it's I'm just hoping I don't DNF it and then like just listen to the audiobook, because we just hate when we buy the physical book and pay physical book money just to like not read it. It just goes on the shelf and then we buy the audiobook anyway. So yeah. Lastly, we have A Court This Cruel and Lovely. And does it have, come on somebody, it also has art in the front. I love, ooh, I love when books do this, because like you can go on Pinterest and find your book's aesthetic or aesthetics and kind of fan agreed takes on what the characters look like and everything in certain scenes. But it's like, you know, that the author agreed to like these people when it's in the book. And so that's really exciting. Okay. I do really love the cover, and the little art in the front is just like chef's kiss. It does say that this is the beginning. This is the first book of Kingdom of Lies, which I've not heard of. And I'm not sure when or if the second book is out, or if there's more than one. I don't know. So it says that this book falls under young adult romance with steam. So that's kind of a different pace, I guess. Just kidding. It does not say young adult. It just says adult. So that's good. So the setting, it says a world where humans have very little power. The gods protect the borders from Fae, and those humans who retain forbidden power are labeled corrupt and face grave consequences. The main premise is that the heroine hides a dark power, and it's discovered. She's forced to flee, strikes a deal with a ruthless mercenary who also might be more than he seems, in order for her to survive. Let's see if this also has a trigger warning. No? Okay. No trigger warning for this. Some of the notes say it is a dark romance, but if there's no trigger warning, like how dark can it be? You know? It does say A Court This Cruel and Lovely is a bold romantasy with dark themes, a strong heroine discovering her power in an emotionally intense partnership with major stakes. And so that goes right along with other books that I'm currently reading, the books that I bought. So I'm hoping that because it keeps up with the pace that I've already been reading books, that I will just move through this pretty quick. That totally depends on the writing style. And this was published in 2023, so not long ago, and it has tons of reviews on Amazon, lots of reviews on Goodreads, I don't remember what, I think it has like 3.6 or 7, maybe more. I don't know. I usually don't buy books from good or I usually don't buy books that have less than like 3.5 stars on Goodreads. Even though some of my favorite books don't have good ratings on Goodreads, it's kind of hard to like tell. But then Amazon is different. I don't know why some people like um do more reviews on Amazon than Goodreads. I know not everyone likes Goodreads, and that's fine. So that's been kind of a new thing for me, deciding like to buy a book based on people's opinions on different platforms, and then also just like I judge a book by its cover, absolutely. And then deciding if I want to read something based on obviously the description of the book. All right, so we did not get my hair product. I have no idea where that is or when Amazon plans to deliver it to me. But those are the 4 books that I bought from Amazon a couple days ago. I'm really excited to read them and kind of just continue with the romantasy vibes that I've been on. Romantasy is my favorite genre. But again, sometimes like because that genre has like picked up so much steam in the past few years, sometimes authors just like push stuff out because they know that's like what's trendy, but it's not always good. And last year, or no, earlier this year, I read a really bad book that was supposed to be romantasy. And I didn't even finish it. It literally left a bad taste in my mouth. So it's hard to tell what is actually good, what's well liked, and what's like genuine romantasy. And maybe I'm just being a little snobby about that, but it's like I don't want to waste my time or money on just authors trying to cram more books into a space that maybe just like isn't for them, you know? So I don't know if you are as picky as me when it comes to picking out books, but if I'm spending $20 to $40 on a book, like I'm going to take my time deciding if that book is worth it. So please let me know if you have read any of the books that I bought and what you think. And based on the little criteria I've given you, let me know if you think I will find it worth it. I am also now on Bookstagram. It is at a chapter with Shelby, the same as my YouTube channel username. I've been on Bookstagram before, and sometimes I fall off of it. Like I don't post a lot, but I think recently I've just been wanting to post for myself, and then whoever enjoys can join. But I think it's hard to keep up with something when you're doing it like for other people, or you're doing it to gain traction or gain a big audience. Like just do it because you want to do it. If you have no followers to over 100, over 1,000, whatever, like just do it because you enjoy it. And that is what will like bring longevity to any hobby or thing that you do. And so I'm definitely taking more of an approach of like, I just like to post about books. I like to talk about books. My YouTube channel is a great example of that. I don't have a ton of followers, but I'm still making videos because I enjoy it and I like talking about books. So, and I like making bookish content. So that's kind of like just where I'm at with content creation right now. Thank you so much if you've watched all this video. Let me know what you're currently reading, if you've read the books that I've unboxed, and I will see you next week on A Chapter with Shelby.